What is normal in your country, but seems weird to the rest of the world? Golden Gay Time. Okay, you're going to have to explain. It is an ice cream in Australia, called Golden Gay Time as in golden happy time. It is pretty delish. Calling a traffic light a robot. South Africa. I moved to Namibia from Canada years ago, and people kept saying just head to the top of the hill and turn left at the robots. It took me about 3 months to stop looking for weird robot signs or statues. Cause that's what I figured they were getting at. Having spaghetti in McDonald's. Is this a thing only in the Philippines? That's hilarious. Every nation has its local dishes at McDonald's though. We have them at Crockett. Men holding hands in public as a display of friendship is normal in Afghanistan, but super weird in the West. I think it's normal in most of the Middle East and India. Moderately normal for Bangladesh as well. Putting cable ties, branches, fake eyes etc on helmets, buckets and hats in springtime to scare away the birds. Magpies are vicious bastards. Bribing them with fairy bread works sometimes. Putting broken Glubut bottles on the walls around your house so burglars can't jump it and rob you. I moved to Canada and they don't even have walls around the houses. All of Latin America. Yup. Chile has neighborhoods with fences like these described. Whole restaurants cheering when a plate or glubut is smashed. UK. Once was in a Canadian bar/restaurant on holiday and a waiter dropped a tray of glubuts. The local looked horrified when I was out of my seat screaming "Wee I." Edit. Definitely seems more of a European thing than Canadian and American. Am Canadian. Would be horrified haha. I feel as if this is one of those things where you're horrified when sober, but would join in a heartbeat when drunk. Edit. In Canada. Blood pudding and fermented fish. Finland. Sweden. Sweden has it at least. Eating with our hands. In 1969, the same year the man landed on the moon, Miss Gloria Diaz coveted the Philippines' first Miss Universe crown. During the preliminary Q&A, she was asked, "Is it true that you Filipinos use your hand when you eat?" To which she replied, "Why do you use your feet?" and went her way to winning the crown. Edit. Removed misleading link. Edit 2. Shout out to Indian commenters who eat with their hands. 2. And people from other Southeast Asian countries and the Middle East. This isn't limited to the Philippines. People, especially those of Indian descent, eat with their hands in Malaysia, and it's also extremely common in Saudi Arabia as well. Common in parts of Africa as well. The cracks that are just wide enough to be able to see in and out of public restroom stalls. United States. I've heard it's thought of as weird, since many other countries enjoy the luxury of privacy. My senior year of high school was the year the school finally installed doors on the bathroom stalls. It was 2007. What the actual duck? Where are you from? Tax not included in advertised price. Yeah. I find this so weird. Vegemite. Leaving your baby alone outside for their nap, even if it rains or snows. A short while ago they stopped selling alcohol after 10 PM. At some stores you couldn't even get non-alcoholic beer. What's weird though is that wine is not considered alcoholic drink, so you can buy it anytime. Welcome to Moldova. Wow. Such gold. Much thanks. In certain US states you can't buy any alcohol in stores after 8 PM or on Sundays. Georgia, the US state, just revised the law to allow alcohol purchases in grocery stores only after 12:30 PM on Sundays. In restaurants, only after 11 AM on Sundays. It used to be not long ago no purchases on Sundays in the state. Heck, even some counties are still dry counties where you can't buy alcohol at all anytime. Marrying someone without knowing them and only seeing their face once the marriage is agreed on. Saudi? Yup. Unfortunately I have to live in that shithole for about a couple years, but once I'm done I'll be back to Turkey. In university we thump the tables to applaud our professors, instead of actually applauding or doing nothing. During my exchange semester everyone not from Germany was looking at me confused why I did this. In my country we don't applaud our professors. At least not in the one I go to. It has only happened once, when the lecture was especially interesting and professionally done. In my experience it's done for guest lecturers, or at the end of the last lecture of the term. Definitely not at the end of every regular lecture though. See *NT as a term of endearment. Context dependent. See *NTEXT. Bagged milk. I know it's normal in some places, but not here in the UK. Interestingly, businesses must have caught up with it as every single Costa I've been to has milk in bags. We tried it in my elementary school in the US for a while. It was a common trick to say your chocolate milk busted because you put the straw too far and get another one. It didn't last long. Strangers sitting totally naked skin to skin in a steamy room heated to +80 to +100°C. And us having competitions on who can last the longest in there. And as a consequence of that, having seen 90% of my friends naked, regardless of gender. Also co-workers. We have matrimonial ads in newspapers and sites to find grooms and brides, which I think don't happen in Western countries, and they find it strange. The ads are mostly published by parents. It's like Tinder supervised by parents. India, Tindia. In my friend's country, Easter is when gangs of boys roam the countryside, pouring water over girls and beating them gently with sticks. The girls then have to thank them for it. I thought that was pretty weird. Edit. She's from Slovakia. Some random drunk old guy hit my butt with a stick in Prague on Easter 2 years ago. That explains it. Did you thank him for it? In the Philippines, it would be people living with their parents. Everybody I know whose parents' homes are in the city choose to live there. With the relatively low wage to cost of living ratio, it is not unusual for married couples to share houses with their in-laws. I work remote and I still live with my parents and pay zero rent. Of course, I pay all the bills, feed them and do all the home repairs and chores. Calling mixed race people coloreds. I'm from South Africa and I'm colored, but when I went on holiday in Spain, colored is a derogatory term, but in South Africa it's completely normal. Lots of responses to this one. I think because those outside of South Africa use the term to describe everyone who is not white, it makes it derogatory, whereas in South Africa, being colored usually refers specifically to being mixed race, which generally is associated with Cape Coloreds, which have their own culture and heritage. It's like saying that someone is black or white, not offensive. I can hear the accent in the jury. Makes me miss home. Eating biscuits and gravy. I traveled to the UK and told them that biscuits and gravy is a very common breakfast food, and as you would expect they were highly confused. BISCUIT equals COOKIE across the pond, why we would take something sweet and cover it in gravy, and also was confused that the gravy we use has sausage in it and is white. B&G is the food of the gods. As a southerner, I can confirm, every housewife around here has their own biscuit and gravy recipe, and they will gladly tell you in complete detail how to do it just right. Legal drinking age of beer and wine is 16. Hey, I'm visiting Germany and found that out a few days ago. I wonder what happens if I get drunk in Germany and still drunk when Ireland. What would happen to me? Edit. Not attempting to try this at all, just curious. The whole plane would shake their heads in disappointment of their youth. I'm sure. Eating pasta every day, I think. Yes, I'm Italian. Everyone rags on the US for using imperial. But can we talk for a second about how weird we are here in the UK for using both inconsistently? You buy a pint of milk or beer, but a liter of Coke and 25 milliliters of whiskey. People know how many miles to the gallon their cars get, but you buy fuel at pence per liter. You watch the weather forecast and the temperature is in Celsius, but the wind speed is in miles per hour. Most people can tell you their weight in kilograms and their height in feet. And if they can't give you kilograms, they can probably give you stone instead. which is even older than pounds, which nobody uses as a unit of measurement, probably because of the confusion between lbs and. It's a glorious mess. Canada has this same problem. Distance is measured in metric, but height and weight is in imperial. There are lots of other cases. Distance is measured in time. Putting chips in our burgers. Edit. I'm referring to the British version. Fries in America but fatter. I know it isn't the same, but we are occasionally known to line up French fries in our burgers here too. Go to Pittsburgh, where they put fries on their ducking salads. Drinking beer before 12 o'clock and seeing it as part of the culture. Australia, my Aussie flatmate always used to say 1 before 10 or 10 before 1. Being middle but with a property, having a 6-foot wall, electric fencing linked to an alarm, automated gate and garage doors with security clamps over the gate motor to prevent theft of the motor, security gates over every door, burglar bars, and a house alarm system with infrared sensors linked to armed response with a reaction time of under 3 to 4 minutes. South Africa? Being left off of maps. Kiwi A. Tasmanians also got the shut end of that stick, at times. In my country you bike everywhere. Cars aren't used much. For longer distances you mostly use train and public transport. Also being 6 foot is normal. Yeah. Your capital city has more bikes than people living there, like WTF. The bikes tolerate the humans because they keep the water outside of the country. One day though, there'll be a rise of the bicycles. Sprinkles on buttered bread is made by fairies and is perfect for kids' parties. And anything negative said about said treat is sacrilegious. A gelslag is still my favorite childhood school vacation memory. Till the Netherlands and Australia share a delicious treat. Deep fried Mars bar. Edit. I'm from New Zealand. For those asking, these are usually sold in fish and chip shops. And Oreos and cheesecake and butter and beer and Snickers. Edit. Sorry to say guys, but I'm not from NZ. I'm from Texas. A barista in Acosta years ago spent far too long telling me about the sheer joy that is a deep fried cream egg. I hadn't asked. He was just really passionate about them. I don't know why, but teenagers from my place, Vietnam, like to put hot sauce on everything. Like pizzas, chips, French fries, spaghetti, rice, cakes, hamburgers, anything you can think of. My husband was Vietnamese this whole time. Cheese curds and gravy over fries. Canada isn't real. A magical land covered in Christmas, where everyone is nice and syrup literally falls from the trees. Like that's a real place. Nobody eats cheese curds, fries and gravy. Don't be pouting these vicious rumors about, lol. Having a garbage can in the bathroom for used toilet paper. That's actually really common in a lot of countries. A lot of sewer systems can't handle toilet paper. Yup, and it's something that can happen on a building by building basis. 1840s house made into a pub, paper bin. Because the old pipes can't handle the paper. Modern office building next door. Plumbing designed for 50 blokes pooping on company time. Calling them all chips. Not crisps, hot chips or anything else. Just chips. Except you wedges you can have a different name. Edit. Sometimes at Macca's or Hungry Jack's and other fast food places call them fries, but duck of fast food they're chips. 90% of this entire thread is Australia/New Zealand commenting. As an Aussie, and knowing the culture here, I honestly came in to see the comments about us. I'm from the USA and my girlfriend is from Singapore. The amount of pumpkin chud we consume practically frightens her. Can confirm. Wife is inhaling all the pumpkin things. Yawanak now what? I could go for some pumpkin pie right about now. Pharmaceutical commercials. This could only be the US, right? I'm from the UK, and the idea of adverts for anything but things like over-the-counter cough medicine or other non-essential medication seems absolutely bizarre. Do you go to the doctors and say, well, I've heard about this great X medicine and I'd like to try it for my X problem. Can you write me a prescription? How does it even work? Over here I just tell the doctor my issue and they decide which medication I get, which almost always will be a generic unbranded one. I pay the 9 prescription charge and off I go. U.S. Nurse here. Sometimes people will come in and say, I saw a commercial for X-Med, maybe that would work for me. Then the doctor will explain their ideas for what meds, if any, they think are best for their situation and why. Mostly people are just curious. They rarely are sold on any particular one just from an ad one. Also, the advertised drugs are very often not immediately covered by insurance and tend to be very expensive to the patient. The biggest issue with it is that sometimes people think they may have a certain condition the advertised med will treat because they have symptoms mentioned in the ad. Do you often feel tired, run down, and have stomach pain? Ask your doctor about. Also, the drug company will send salespeople to the doctor's offices to try and convince the doctor to use whatever new medication is coming out. Edit. Word for clarification. Men wear skirts even when it's pouring outside, which is all the time. I loved visiting your country. Still kicking myself for never trying Einbrew, which is supposedly amazing, and the next most Scottish drink there is next to whiskey. Scottish here. We deep fry our pizzas. No even sorry. Tasty wee bastards. Marry a tree to break a curse. How do I marry a tree? I want the walnut tree in my yard to stop banging on my roof and filling my yard with its dumb green balls. If you think you can change a tree's wayward ways with marriage, you're living in a fool's paradise. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. You are helping me a lot. Thanks again.